Hello everybody, I'm back with the Arcane Afterglow interview series and now we're watching Act 2. You guys really enjoyed the first part and you said we need parts 2 and 3 as soon as possible. So here I am, getting ready to watch Ella and Hayley and Christian and now also read Shannon, who is Echo's voice actor. Now I really want to hear from him. I've seen a couple of clips of him in interviews and stuff, just on like Instagram and stuff, but I want to hear more about what he has to say regarding Echo and possibly Jinx. So, ready? Let's go.
And you start to believe that maybe with Isha's belief in her, Jinx could change, and it's so heartbreaking. What's wrong with you? Why did you write that?
Spoiler alert, we're about to dive deep on Arcane, Season 2, Act 2. This is the Arcane Afterglow.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Last Drop.
And welcome, Reed.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. The producers have given us a list of questions. We're gonna do our best to answer them. Y'all ready?
Let's go.
Here I am, your big fat hero.
I love this scene so much.
Has Jinx fully given into the idea of being a leader?
No, I don't think so.
Me, a hero. How screwed up is this place?
I don't know if she ever really fully accepted when she meets Isha and there's this, this little girl who she sees a lot of herself in, who looks up to her.
You kind of remind me of her.
It gives her, that's a very difficult thing to reckon with when you don't like yourself very much and you have a lot of guilt for things that you've done. It's difficult to kind of change the way you see yourself and start to have hope, but then I think it does. I think she does start to see herself as a leader and she's fighting for something that she really cares about, and it's also something that Powder and Vi connected on very deeply when they were younger, and then but I don't think 100%. I think there's still that literal voice in the back of her head.
I'm just gonna pause it one second. I really like that they've done these interviews, but I cannot, for the life of me, work out why they're playing music in the background, and it's really hard to hear them. I find this so odd. I find this really, and I'm not bashing. Like I hope it doesn't come across like an insult. I could sit there and listen to like the cast talk for a 3-hour stream or something. Like, I just don't know why they cut it down so much. And it's so hard to, like, really sit there and hear what they're saying. But anyway, let me just make my comment on things. Some people don't like it that I pause and give my opinion. But I want to say something about Jinx. I think it's so interesting to me because I don't think Jinx has got any idea how brilliant she is. Because she was always the Jinx. She was always the thing that did something wrong and was never truly valued, because when she was younger she was the problem. She was usually the one causing the problems and would get herself involved in things. But I don't think Jinx has any idea that she's as phenomenal as she is. I mean, I saw an Instagram edit, I don't know if somebody put it in the Discord, I'm not sure, but it's the scene where Mel, Jace and Victor, I believe, are sitting there talking about, this is back in season 1, and they find one of Jinx's like grenades and they're talking about it. And Jace says like, I nearly like blew up in my hands and it nearly destroyed me when I was trying to work out what it was. And he was like, do you think this person understands hex tech? And then it went on to a Jinx edit. But I think it just highlights how brilliant she was. I mean, she figured out so much on her own, given the background and the lack of probably education that she has. We see Jinx as this lunatic villain, and she is that, and she has a very high death count in the show, so she is a problem in many ways, in more ways than one, but very clever, in the same way Silco is a clever villain, It really interests me, Jinx. The Jinx is a character I want to sort of learn more about as time goes on. Anyway, let's get back to this. I'm probably going to pause and talk a bit more, because if the music's going through it the whole time, I think I'm better off breaking it down and giving my 2 cents on things.
People don't change, you can't really be that person, it's very difficult to run from this.
Oh no. Oh no! Too soon! It's been like 6 months, but it's still too soon.
My heart broke when Isha sacrificed herself to save Jinx. The question here is, why is Jinx doomed to lose everyone she cares about?
Because she's a Jinx. It's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's a reason Jinx sees a lot of herself in Isha. Isha is a lot like her. She's everything I think Powder wishes Powder was at that time. It's so heartbreaking because she's so sweet and so innocent, and you really see a side of Jinx come out when they're playing together with the Krabby Robot thing.
Show some effort.
You see like this joyfulness, this real like inner child come out, and it's innocent, and you start to believe that maybe with Isha's belief in her Jinx could change. It's so heartbreaking. What's wrong with you? Why did you write that?
Well, fair question too. But I think it is a kind of a terrible reminder for Jinx that Isha is inspired by like the chaos of the havoc and the destruction.
Still got all your insights?
I think it's just another reminder of like, you'll never be able to escape this. Yeah, it's just so tough, especially when it happens to someone as innocent as Isha.
What's wrong with you?
I'm also just going to talk about something that, so I don't know if this is 100% true, maybe someone in the comments can let me know, but I was looking online, I think I'd gone down like a Reddit thread after I'd seen something in the Discord, and because I was trying to work out like, why did Isha sacrifice herself? I think it was sort of talking about like fan theories and stuff, and there was someone that said like, but why did Isha sacrifice herself? Like, why did she do that to Warwick? From what I gather, they were saying that in that scene, Isha notices that Warwick is in pain because he's still sort of slightly Vander, right? Vander's still in there, and that's why she kills him, because she knows Vi isn't going to do it. She knows Jinx isn't going to do it, and she knows that even if everyone else does, like, for Isha, she was clever enough to work out that she's going to be the one that's going to do it because no one else has the capacity to. I don't know, because I don't know if Isha as a child, with the mind that she had, would have been able to figure that out, but it was a really interesting idea and something I hadn't put together. There's a couple, we were having a conversation in Discord the other day, a couple of little fan theories. Maybe I'll do a video where you guys submit fan theories you may have read about or seen, or your own ones, and then I go through them and we discuss them in like a voice channel in the Discord or something. Let me know if that sounds good, because I want to hear people's opinions on different scenes and if there's more to it, because this show is very complex, so I think there's a lot that we haven't really delved into yet, personally.
I keep telling myself that you're different.
Don't you dare show me this bit.
But you're not.
Please don't.
It's her blood in your veins.
I can't do this.
Then why are you the one acting like her?
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Why is that bit for me? I don't know why. That is as hard to watch as Isha dying. What does that say about me, by the way? I'm going to do it to myself. I don't know why I enjoy the pain, I think. What am I doing?
But you're not. It's her blood in your veins. Then why are you the one acting like her?
They've cut a bit out as well. Oh. I want to hear what Hayley says about this.
Vi always has had a direction, but after her breakup with Caitlyn, she's lost her compass. What is Vi's mission now?
I'm not saying a word.
Have one for the first time in her life.
She's always a very strong person until she loses her compass here, which I think is just so disorienting for her.
Completely. There isn't ever a moment that we see her without a clear direction. Or maybe even if it's a little foggy, she still is stepping foot with so much conviction and so much confidence, but for the first time, she is completely disoriented and lost.
Okay, so follow-up question, is drinking and cage fighting the best way to handle a breakup? Just asking, yeah?
Yes.
It is? We all concur here?
Yeah.
It's
On that
effective,
note of
right?
heartbreak, you think that Caitlyn still loves Vi, or what you think is going on there?
Come on.
There is love, yes. I think just the question is, can it survive? Caitlyn has this huge weight on her shoulders, you know. In that position, I feel like she definitely feels like she can't allow herself to indulge in any of her personal feelings and seem vulnerable and you know, like let that kind of like distract her. You know?
Okay. All right. The reason I looked at the camera is there's a Discord joke about that that turnaround of Caitlyn. Anyway, is drinking and pit fighting a good way to get over a breakup? No, but I'm happy she did it. I think. See, maybe I'm delusional. You can tell me, but I still think Caitlyn hit Vi as an act of love. Now, I can explain this. Really, I can. Trust me, I haven't completely lost my mind. It wasn't just out of spite. I think she was almost hitting her as if to say, I'm going to do something so unspeakable so that you leave me alone. I'm going to... In the same way that Vi had lost everyone, right? Caitlyn was like, I'm going to do something where I'm now going to lose you because this... I think Caitlyn could tell she was going down a spiral. I think deep down she knew that her mother's death had really got to her and she didn't quite know what she was going to do next. She knew that she was going to seek revenge for this and she didn't want Vi to get involved. I really think that, especially after the conversation they'd had just before the kiss, where Caitlyn's trying to come up with a plan and Vi says we need to let them go, we need to do this ourselves. I think Kate sort of thought, yeah, okay. And then when the whole thing happened with the fight involving Jinx, Savika, Isha, I think Caitlin then sort of takes a step back and realises, no, I need to go alone because you're not even fit to do this. And I think it was almost an act of love and respect to Vi in the worst way possible. But she was like, I'm going to do something that makes you hate me so that you don't chase after me as I walk up this ladder. That's how I perceive it, is she really was angry with Vi, and there was a part there where Caitlin has done something wrong. But I think she did it for the purpose of trying to detach from Vi and do something so unspeakable that Vi wouldn't then continue to pursuing her. I don't know, but that's the way I deal with it. I shouldn't have paused on this, but sorry, Heimerdinger, I have just paused on that. Poor guy. Echo, lad. I've got too many eyes. Right, anyway.
And you know, like, let that kind of, like, distract her.
Just using humour for the pain.
What the?
It's amazing, that sequence.
With their fearless leader Echo lost in the anomaly, what are the Firelights up to?
Man, I would hope that they're like still getting the business.
We gotta choose right now whether we're gonna throw in the towel or make a stand together.
We got a mission. It doesn't stop when the leader goes, so I hope that they're working with somebody from Piltover, or at least just holding down the underground until Echo finds his way back, maybe. Wherever they are.
After Silco has disappeared, it's just this huge power vacuum. Who's gonna be next? Is it gonna be Claudie again for us?
Can you imagine being punched in the face by Richter's? Fucking hell.
Is there an opportunity to kind of have a new world order, you know? It could be much better. The Firelights are unfortunately also somewhat used to losing some of their members over time, you know? And so, like, they know it's important to keep things going.
You want to call them criminals, but they just fight for good.
Yeah, I like that Christian said that. They're used to losing members. They're used to losing people. So they would just keep going. Yeah, I like the fact he said that. That's a really good point.
What are you waiting for?
Oh, Jesus Christ. There was so much that happened in Act 2. It's the noise of the...
There's a lot of loss in this season. How does Vander being alive change Jinx and Vi's relationship? How does it change after they lose him again?
We hear you can heal people.
Sorry. I'm really trying to stay in the moment. Just give me a second. Just hang on a sec. I really am. I'm trying to focus on this. I cannot believe. Look at Jinx. Jinx is going, what have you got in your hair? She's not. She's looking at Victor, but I like to think that she's looking at Vi's hair. I cannot believe we got that. This is so fucking good. Anyway. Come on.
There is this idea that if we can
that
get
sequence
Vander
as well.
back, then maybe
Beautiful.
there's a chance for these sisters.
Sorry. Just look at the way Savika carries Isha, by the way. Look at the way she picks her up.
That fight between Jinx and Warwick is like pure adrenaline. How do you translate an epic fight scene like that from script to screen?
With great difficulty is the answer.
And destruction of the vocal
And
booth.
do you remember that? But no, it's just like a crazy person, and just like I do like karate chop movements in my booth and like make sounds, and then occasionally make sounds and occasionally break things.
How much of the creative comes from the animation team?
Honestly, one of the coolest parts is watching the animators research that kind of stuff. Like, you'll be at the studio and you'll see them like watch YouTube videos and really looking closely at like just like instruction videos, or even just like real fights, and they also film themselves. There's like a bunch of martial artists also among the animators. All we have to do is like, and then they fight.
Right.
And then they go, all right, let's research, you know, how all this will actually be cool.
See, I would just love, because I really enjoyed Bridging the Rift, which was the season 1 behind the scenes. I would have loved to see something I could watch, genuinely, I could watch a 9-episode series that is an hour long of each episode. Like, I could watch 9 hours of behind the scenes of how they made each episode of Arcane. Like, genuinely, I would adore that. I think there is such a market. I don't even. This is now really weird to say, but there is such a market for like a movie company or a production company that just specializes in producing things for other production companies, like behind the scenes stuff for other production companies and movies and TV shows and whatever. An entire production company that revolves around following people behind the scenes. I just wish that I could see more from everything from the Foley work to the animators to the storyboard artists, just any of that. I love learning from the actors and Christian, for example. I love hearing from Reed, Haley and Ella. I'd love to see more about all of it, the side that you don't see, because the voice acting is wonderful and it's really interesting, but there's so much other kinds of work that goes into building, like Haley, for example. Haley is Vi, but there are so many other people that have come together to make Vi that we see, right? And I just think there's so much more you could learn about these characters from the people that have made them frame by frame, not just given them the voice. You know I sound like I'm nitpicking or I'm being insulting. I'm not at all. I'm really enjoying this. Like, I want to make sure that's clear. But I just would love to see so much more, you know? I think there's just so much in terms of story that you can tell from other creative people on the show. I'd just love to see that. Anyway, I'll carry on. I'll stop rambling. Oh, this is brilliant.
Jace, Victor, I suppose this is somewhat beyond where we left off.
Hextech is the crux of Piltover's technological advancements. Now it threatens to destroy everything. So, what really is the anomaly, and why is it keeping Victor alive?
I thought you were done with Hextech. I was clouded by emotions. See what I've accomplished. You've given Hextech to the people? As we always promised we would.
There is the Hex core, which is actually the thing that Victor invented in the beginning that has somewhat of his own agenda, in mind, and reacts also to Victor in the beginning, tries to save him. The anomaly, I don't want to say too much yet, because I think we're just after the second act here, but...
Hextech isn't a miracle. It's a curse. We have to end it, Victor.
It is a work of Victor.
I've come here to settle a debt.
He didn't want to say too much at all there, did he? See, again, I really like... I like this, but I wish it could go into more depth, because this is obviously, like, of course, for promo before everything was coming out, which I understand. Yeah, see, there's elements of Victor I want to explore as well, because that scene where he, he sort of starts to merge with the Arcane, and then where Sky, we start to lose Sky. There's a lot that, just because I'm not going to go into too much depth, because it may be triggering for people, but the markings on Victor's legs that he's, initiated himself, that merging and the shift, I think Victor's a character I really want to look into and study that a little bit more in terms of his downfall, but the twist at the end, because Victor sort of became the villain. He wasn't, but he sort of almost did, right? And he was never trying to be the villain, he was always trying to save people, but that's such an interesting character arc that I wasn't expecting that at the end with what happened with him and Jace. I don't know what I expected. I didn't actually have a theory in mind of what was going to happen to Victor, but that wasn't it. So he's one character I want to look at even more, really.
My bookkeeper is down the hall. What you've stolen is more precious than any gold.
Did you see? I'm sorry to interrupt again, but because I'm watching the Necrit vid now at this point, you can see the rune weaving.
Precious than any gold.
Here, right, on Rictus. And then it's this hand that was touching those things that the Black Rose kind of used themselves to kind of crawl through. Isn't that interesting when you look at it like that? Now knowing about LeBlanc and the rune weaving and the link with that to Noxus. Okay.
Did you truly believe Piltover was beyond our reach?
Specifically, Season 2, it deepens with the backstory of Ambessa's feud with the Black Rose. Could you explain to us what exactly the Black Rose is, and how did Ambessa get on their bad side?
Yeah, we always thought of the Black Rose as an organization that really represents mages in the world. So when this place Piltover invents something like Hextech, it kind of threatens the order of the world, and where there's a certain supremacy, as a mage, suddenly if you commoditize magic that is scary, but also very potent. And I think Mbessa sees the opportunity, especially when you oppose someone like the Black Rose. Needless to say, I mean, there's a feud, a blood feud, and Mbessa sees just the opportunity in what her daughter has built here in Piltover.
You wouldn't like.
See, now we know as well. Oh, there she is. Now we know, because it's highly likely there'll be, you know, a Noxus show, and that's going to include, possibly, from what we've seen in the cinematic, Mel, Katarina, and LeBlanc, plus Vladimir, etc., right, and the other people that we saw in the cinematic. He's talking there like he's trying not to say too much, and I'm wondering if it's, obviously, if the new show is going to kind of jump on from there, it's going to follow now Mel's story, we're going to see a lot more of, I think, what could have happened to Elora and Mel. One of you, we was talking in the Discord about, like, was Mel sort of the mark? And what is there, not Mel, sorry, Elora. Is there more to Elora? Was she almost a plant there that gave access to Mel? And I think it's interesting. There's sort of different theories about the connection there, which I want to explore. But I just want to see what this new show has to offer, because will it be, we know it's going to be like Noxus themed from what we can tell, but does that mean it's going to be like carrying on timeline-wise from Arcane with Mel, etc., or is it going to be in a completely different element of the story? Don't know. We don't know so far, so I'm interested. I want to learn more about Black Rose. I'm really into it now. Okay.
Ugly gadgets and chicken shit tricks.
Ha! What about those over-designed bitch mittens you didn't even build yourself?
All right, honestly, everybody's gonna be talking about bitch mittens for the next however long. Could Jinx really keep up in a fight with Vi, no weapons? Like, what y'all think? Who's taking the bag?
I mean,
she's got shimmer.
Last chance to surrender. Go right ahead, fat hand.
do I get all my inventions and all my cool stuff?
No.
Well, no. I just thought maybe. Probably you're buff.
No, but Jinx has got shimmer, no? Because that's not an invention, that is Jinx. So the shimmer side of things, Vi can't outrun shimmer. I don't know, I think Jinx would win. It depends if Jinx was like tired out from, because each time she uses shimmer, doesn't it kind of like destroy her slightly? I don't know. I'm trying to work to
Yeah, Vi throws down, yo.
Come on. Yeah, she's been. But Jinx can run, so she can run real fast.
Vi's been to prison.
I know. Vi's been to prison.
Oh, that hug.
This act ended with a huge moment, the big tragedy surrounding Isha, this really hopeful mission for Jinx. You have a very big decision from Jace, you know, for the first time really standing against Victor, and so obviously massive repercussions coming up in the next act.
Well, I, for one, am excited to see Act 3, huh? Thank you guys for joining us.
He's got so much style.
Once again, for the Arcane Afterglow, please do not miss next week's finale where the fate of Zahn...
What was that there between Hayley and Ella? What was that?
Arcane Afterglow, please do not miss next week's finale.
What was she doing? Wait.
Drop once again for the Arcane Afterglow. Please do not miss next week's finale where the fate of Zahn, Piltover, and the Arcane will finally be decided.
A storm is coming. Likes of which Piltover has never faced.
Victor's at the center of all this, isn't he?
I know I've already seen it, but I want to watch it again.
Self-serving war pig. He wanted poison in your ear and you just ate it. I know. If you come, use all that explosive potential of yours for good, maybe we could rewrite your story.
I know I've already seen the show. I've seen all of it, and yet that's amping me up. Like there's more. Like there's more that's gonna happen. Okay. I can't get over Pit fighting Vi. I can't believe we got that look. Anyway, is there anything else to mention? Is there anything else I forgot? There's nothing really. Everything was covered there. Was there anything else in Act 2 I would have wanted to go into more depth about? No, there is something. This is technically Act 3, but it refers to something into Act 2. There was something I heard online. In the alternate reality episode, right, when you see Milo and Clagger, Clagger's like holding something. It's like a plant in like a device. I'll put a picture up here. He's sort of in the background whilst they're sitting there in the bar, right, in the last drop. Clagger's talking, and I haven't got the exact line, but he says something along the lines of like, you know, we're struggling to stabilize it. We're trying to get it to the plant to basically survive and feed off of the fumes and the grey and all the toxicity down in Zorn. And it was interesting because I was reading on this online. It's like a fan theory kind of thing, but it proved that in the alternate reality, Milo and Clagger were working on something to build something that was plant-based, right, that could thrive in the environment of Zorn. And then you realise that's what Victor worked out. In Act 2, when you see Victor's sort of cult, right, and you see what he's built, that's what he worked out to do. He built his own little environmental paradise. He must have figured out, in order to do that, how to stabilise the Hextech through the plants to be able to thrive and survive so quickly. Now, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if I'm right or not about this. It was something I read online. Of course, I don't know if that's kind of correct or not, but it was something interesting that I saw. I didn't really know when to mention it, so I thought I'd mention it now. Just because that technically is something that happens in Act 2 when Vi, Jinx, Isha and Warwick go to find Victor. And that was something that was on my mind as well. But regarding this, like I say, I would love for this to be 10 times longer and 10 times less background music and just have it with a little bit more conversational style because I'd love to go into more depth. But again, brilliant. And I will get on with Act 3 as and when I can, and then we'll hear what they say about a couple of things that happen in Act 3, if you know what I'm referring to. If you did enjoy this, do give it a thumbs up. It always helps out the channel. Click subscribe, turn the notifications on, and if you want to hang out with me and the rest of the subscribers and talk about Arcane, League, Blue Eye Samurai, and other stuff too, then head over to the Discord. The link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.